Katie here. Welcome back to the INT Podcast, episode 2. Today, of course, joined by my co-host, Remy. What's up, Remy?
Hello.
And, of course, well, don't mind the taped-up Goomba. It's just a thing you also don't want to see about that. But also today, we're joined with a special guest, SK. Welcome to the channel, man.
Hello, very happy to be here.
Cool stuff. So could you introduce yourself to the audience in case they don't know who you are yet?
Sure, so I'm SK, I'm an Expo noob who used to like spamming Teslas. Now they nerfed it, which is part of what we'll be talking about today. So my average win rate in a GC has gone from 9 wins to 3 wins. And
Ooh.
my new life goal is to free the taped up Goomba hanging from Remy's ceiling.
Yeah.
Up on Expo.
Rip the Expo indeed. So yeah, with that being said, let's jump into the balance changes. So as SK just said, the Tesla did get a significant nerf. So lifetime been decreased from 35 to 30 seconds. Do you guys think that was justified for the Tesla?
No. I think it still destroys all our balloon or lava hound. It's just that you can't replace it. So it will still be really good against tanks if you play it reactively, but I don't think it's a good nerf. They should have just nerfed the damage or hit points.
SK?
Yeah, I think, so as someone who plays Expo, we rely on the pre-placed Tesla quite a lot at its lifetime. So I kind of had a feeling this nerf was coming 2 months ago, so I've been kind of silently advocating for them to not do it. Obviously, that didn't work, but just basically, I think the most recent buff they did to the Tesla, which was its first hit speed, I think they should have reverted that, or nerfed its HP or damage, probably damage, because if you actually think about it, nerfing HP doesn't do that much, because lifetime affects HP drain a lot more, as you saw with the Expo nerf. The lifetime nerf made it a lot weaker to spells, and the 4% HP nerf, we did some calculations, didn't actually do anything. But I agree with Ramy. It's still a very strong building, and in a defense situation, it'll probably take out everything you need it to. It's just that you have to be a bit more careful about timing when playing it. You can't just spam it and have it stay alive for a longer time. But I do still think it was a relatively big nerf, but probably not in the situation that should have been, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
So you think they nerfed it the wrong way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think this playstyle hurts Expo the most, and I'm not trying to be biased. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. But like you said, it still deals with everything in a situation like a balloon, a giant, hog riders, because I've played with it quite a bit so far, and the only real difference I've noticed is that I can't rely on a Tesla I played a while ago to support a new push. But when I do play it, it pretty much defends everything the same, except maybe a golem, because for those you need to pre-place, and that gets affected. But yeah, it's not really a big change in terms of the way it's used to defend stuff, just in terms of its spammability.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, moving on to the next one is going to be Bomb Tower, which is a lifetime increase from 25 to 30 seconds, which makes all the buildings basically going to sterilization over 30 seconds, which I think is deserved for sure, because Bomb Tower, well, hasn't really seen the light of day for a while, so I think it's a good change overall. Remy, what do you think about that?
Was pre-placing Bomb Tower ever that necessary? I don't think that's the reason it became bad, since you couldn't pre-place it. It's more so the death bomb.
Yeah, I agree. It was the death damage. I think you only pre-place in 1 or 2 matchups. I know Sparky is one, I'm pretty sure, and RG, or I don't know.
I think Balloon was one of them as well. Versus Balloon Freeze.
Yeah, the Star Dags.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah. So I think the reason it kind of died was because of it was a pretty significant nerf. It was a 50% nerf to its death damage, I think.
Yeah.
And that made it not kill Minion Horde anymore. I think that's probably the biggest interaction change, and just less damage. Although I do personally think the bomb tower's death damage shouldn't have been that strong. So I think it's in a
Yeah.
healthier spot now. And it's actually pretty strong in terms of just surviving and defending. Like now I noticed against an expo, it can actually single-handedly deal with an expo without taking any damage. Before, if it was just a 6-for-4 expo versus bomb tower, the expo would survive and do some damage to the tower. So now it's just a lot stronger and more resistant to spells, which I think makes it in a healthy spot now. I don't think they should have buffed its death damage back to its full amount.
Yeah, then it'll just be too defensive, I think.
It would
With
just be as strong as it was.
yeah,
I think it's just back because Royal Hog's a meta. It's the best defense
Yeah.
to it.
Definitely.
for sure. Yeah. But yeah, moving on to the guards, which damage plus 12%. I'm not sure if that's really gonna do anything because arrows still one shot them. So yeah, I don't know.
Actually, really noticeable in the decks that use guards, since it's just stuff like Golem or Lava which don't have a good tank color on the ground. They just have something like Night Witch or Inferno Dragon which don't kill things. So guards actually do a lot now. Like you can use them as a tank killer and on stuff like Hog Rider.
Yeah, I would say, well, it was 12, yeah, 12%. I would say 12% is quite a significant amount, considering most of their buffs or nerfs, they go for 3 to 4% within that range. Especially considering you have 3 guards, so it's kind of like the buff is compounded 3 times in a way, since each of them has that damage buff. For me, I think that it doesn't really fix the issue of guards though, because like for me, I just log guards in my deck, and they're not much of an issue anymore. Yeah, for other people who play arrows, they just use arrows on them and they're dead. So I think in some decks it's very noticeable, but it still doesn't fix the issue of guards, which I would say is just that they die to arrows and they somewhat die to log.
Yeah.
But they are still pretty good on defense now, for sure.
Yeah, for 3 elixir, I think it's good.
Like Skeleton Army, since they do a lot of damage, but they die to spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good take because they are like 3 elixir, so it is 3 elixir epic card. But I think we'll see.
Yeah,
maybe
I don't think they should survive arrows.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on.
Kill them.
Yeah, but Night Witch.
Night Witch.
Bats no longer spawn when destroyed. Yeah. So the Night Witch, in my opinion, is in Golem. It's basically dead. It's not coming back. It's terrible.
It's just spell value.
Yeah, like the only decks you probably would see it in is Remy's made like a new deck with Sparky, with like Mother Witch and Night Witch.
Broken, Sparky. You can't change my mind. It is broken as hell.
Yeah.
You were sharing that like Rage Night Witch clip, I remember.
Yeah.
That just devoured an entire...
8 bats in like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That was crazy, but yeah, I don't think it was necessary to kill the entire bat spawn of the Night Witch. I think at least maybe the 1 or 2 bats could have spawned out of it, because otherwise it's just useless, because Fireball Log now completely just destroys her, or any poison deck just destroys her. So I don't know if maybe it's a bit too much, I think.
So if I recall correctly... Oh yeah, go ahead, Remy.
It's got the same stats as when it was first released and really broken. Just apart from the death spawn. Like, it's identical.
So was it 4 death bats before this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 death bats and exactly the same stats.
Okay, so I think, they probably killed it too hard, even though I think a lot of people hate playing against it. And I think that's another thing about the balances, is that a lot of it is player perception as well, not necessarily like balance in a vacuum. There's also a lot of people on the balance team council and like the content creators that help give balance change suggestions. A lot of them are more inclined to cycle and cycle based decks as opposed to beatdown, which means inherently they're going to be biased against something like Golem Clone First Play. Where someone that I talk to sometimes, Saint Belican, in this group chat, he is like really advocating for Night Witch and how it never had broken stats. Golem Clone never had unhealthy stats. So by a purely stat standpoint, the change shouldn't have happened. It's just that players are biased. But I think it did need a nerf because it is really unhealthy in that state. But maybe they could have just reduced it back to 2 death bats, which I think it was a while ago.
Yeah.
And that was okay.
I think it was a good change though, even though it's just depending on what the players think. Like you can no longer go Golem first play, so Golem is a lot more difficult to play. It's not going to be hated anymore.
That's true. Yeah, I think it's respectable now. I personally like the change. I'm just trying to see it from the perspective of like people that play it or
Their
people
decks
that
just got killed because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that is always a balance in the game, of course. You know, there's 3 cards or 2 cards now in the game, so it's quite hard to balance every single one of those. So, unfortunately, some cards will get killed, some cards will get buffed, but it's a never-ending cycle. So, who knows? Maybe in next quarter, Night Witch will be buffed again. But for this couple
Feels
next,
like an eternity away.
yeah, that is true. But yeah, moving on to the next card, we have the Mother Witch. Very popular card last year, I think, for sure. Hit points -4%, so she still won't die to arrows and zap, but still a very strong card.
I honestly haven't noticed this change.
No.
Like I've used Mother Witch a lot and I haven't noticed it at all.
It is such a broken card and a very broken concept overall. If you do not have like a fireball or poison, you're gonna be in for a while, right?
Still really good.
I'm of the opinion that the last 3 or so cards that they introduced could have been done with not being introduced at all. Well, I don't know if it was Mother Witch and then
Goblin Drill.
Mother Witch, Drill, and Electro Giant.
Okay, yeah, Electro Giant. Electro Giant, I guess it's fine. Definitely not as broken as Mother Witch and Drill in their prime, even though it's still a very RPS. But yeah, I think we didn't need Mother Witch at all.
Or Drill.
We didn't need Drill at all. But in terms of this change, the only thing I've noticed is that it's possible to fully counter it with an Ice Spirit now, I think, if you time it perfectly. But, I mean, the fact that it dies to arrows, log, is like no one plays those cards in their deck.
Nah.
I think like
2 players do it.
Yeah, there's this guy called, I think, Seimei or something. He plays the Lumberjack Giant Skeleton Balloon.
Yeah.
So for him, he's rejoicing, but for all of us, like, it's nothing. And I think it should have died to EQ log. That would have been much better, because then it would also die to 2 logs. But I still think the inherent issue with Mother Witch is the Cursed Hog mechanic. So I think that would have been the best nerf, like maybe limiting the amount of Cursed Hogs they could have had at one time.
I think it's also to do with the duration for how long they stay cast. Like with Royal Giant or something, you can Mother Witch on anything and you'll still get a hog. Like even if it just gets killed 4 seconds later, you're going to get that defensive hog after Mother Witch has died.
Yeah, it's actually because it's not that great of a card in terms of stats, but then it can defend itself in those situations since the Cursed Hogs tank for the Mother Witch. Like in RG versus Golem Clone. RG versus Golem. You just Fisherman the Golem to your king, Mother Witch the Night Witch, and
instant 8 Paydex. There we go. Yeah.
So I think wrong nerf and not really noticeable at all. But I guess something's better than nothing.
Yeah, I think it still needs a nerf. Just like the cast duration or the hit speed, so it doesn't just destroy every swarm.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that as well. But yeah, moving on to the next one. The old 2016 Poison. Enemy movement speed -15%. So this is very noticeable, I think, when you're defending a graveyard for sure. Because
what's it like versus graveyard?
I haven't really tested the interaction of like defending a graveyard, but I think the RNG would always manage to still get a hit, but defending Graveyard with like a Baby Dragon, for instance, or just solo a tower, it takes a while to kill those skeletons for sure.
I guess it would be better as well. I think like it's a cool change because it also brings into question the whole Fireball bait meta, which Supercell has just done and like poured gas on the fire like over and over because they're not addressing it. They're making it worse. I mean, Mother Witch
Another
is a
Fireball bait
literal
card.
that
Still need
in
Fireball.
an already Fireball bait meta, and then they buffed Royal Hogs as well. But
Yeah.
like, there's that Royal Hogs Royal Recruits deck. There's the fact that in fact, they've wanted to do this for a long time. I remember when Seth was still the developer, even though he always gave insight. If you guys followed like his Reddit posts, he would always make Reddit posts about his balances and his reasoning behind them. And I remember reading them because they were really fun. But he talked about barbarians and how, or if you remember when they made them die to Fireball, and it was 5 instead of 4 now. And ever since then, it's just been more and more of a Fireball bait meta. And I'm really glad they didn't nerf Fireball. Even though Fireball is a very versatile spell, it could use a nerf. Probably just the projectile speed or maybe radius, but I don't think damage. But I think it's a lot more of the Fireball bait meta than the Fireball. So I'm really glad they didn't nerf that. And buffing poison is like one way of buffing a substitute, which helps it in a way. And I think it's a cool buff since it's not like overpowering. Like if it also slowed attack speed, that would be broken, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it doesn't because I think it's pretty cool this way. I think it's like somewhat found its spot in the meta instead of just Fireball everywhere. And it's like in a healthy spot now, so that's good.
I do like I mean, now that poison also just fully kills balloon on its own, that's another way of countering the balloons with not just only a fireball. You just can use a poison, which is very nice.
That wasn't unfair, like fireball can, but poison can. So it's definitely fair that it can do that.
Yeah,
I think poison is really noticeable against beatdown, since now everything just takes the whole poison duration. Everything will just die with poison plus anything. Yeah,
like poison now kills as well, like Three Musketeers, right? It just kills the two without needing anything else now. That's pretty huge.
For sure, yeah. Anyway, moving on, let's go to the E-Giant, which, well, hit points minus 4%. Overall, I think E-Giant I haven't even seen a single E-Giant this entire season yet.
I've seen just one this season.
Yeah.
I got E-Giant last night.
Any. But I guess that's good. If a lot of people didn't like it being so RPS, then maybe it was noticeable to the point where like random people don't just pick it up, and only people who are actually talented with the deck will play it.
Yeah.
But I do think the problem was the reflect mechanic and not the HP. So I'm not sure if it was the best way to go, but
I think it's worse as a tank now. It's become more RPS, since if they have anything that's a tanker, it just dies even more. It dies even easily.
Yeah.
Like a Sparky would just destroy it now completely. It wouldn't even make it to the tower.
True.
But yeah, next one. Go ahead, SK.
Oh yeah, I was just saying. I think. I guess if we're seeing a lot less E-Giant now, then maybe it did its job. But if like E-Giant comes back to the resurfaces again, then we might need to revisit like the whole reflect damage instead of this hit point.
I think E-Giant is still a viable deck in duels, etc. Because in case they use like those cages, those Teslas, you can still use the E-Giant for sure. Still a strong card itself. But I think in this meta with Royal Hogs being back and Zappies and stuff destroying E-Giant, I don't think it's going to be seen very often for sure.
Going to be dead until the meta changes.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, the next one, the bomber, attack range minus 0.5 tiles. Yeah, I don't know what this really is going to do, to be honest. The bomber is already a quite good card. Yeah.
I think it's just worse in lava now, since you can't bomb an opposite lane to something, and then it supports your lava push. Like, I think it's still really good in any other deck, just not lava.
Yeah, I've personally hated Bomber for a very long time now. I think first of all, the fact that they made it 2 elixir from 3 was already a mistake. Because I remember I was talking about it with my friends. A few of them play Golem, like Aaron and Eternity.
Mhm.
And they were saying, make Bomber 2 elixir, but make it die to log. And then everyone was like, hell no. 'Cause no one wants a Bomber that... Because I think a lot of people that I myself also have an issue with is the fact that Golem first play decks, even though it's not really a thing now, since Night Witch was killed, but
Mhm.
They
still
all
worth
had Bomb
mentioning.
and Night Witch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have Bomber, so they can Golem in the back, Night Witch and stuff, and then just Bomber opposite lane whatever you punish them with, and it'll, for the most
Yeah.
part, be able to do a decent enough job. And so making it 2 elixir just makes it even more dumb, since it's 1 less elixir to do the same job. And the fact that they made it 2 elixir and it still doesn't even die to log is just very
It's just
hard hitting
ridiculous.
to my heart. But this nerf, like, honestly, I didn't consider the fact that it can't do that in lava decks, but I still think it doesn't do much, because I think the issue about Bomber is just the sheer amount of value it can get with its splash and damage, and it's only 2 elixir, so I think they should have nerfed its hit speed, probably, so that it just does the same job but worse.
Hit
But
speed or health.
yeah, or at least die to log, like it's 2 elixir. But although dying to log might not even help, since if they play it so far back,
Yeah, you can't even
it
hit
won't
it.
be
Yeah.
They just place it behind the tower now.
Or just in front of the king tower, you can't even hit
Yeah.
that from the log either.
So I don't know what they were thinking about it, but something helps, I guess. I just
Yeah.
hope I see it less, because I hate it.
I wish we got like some insights of why they like did these certain changes, like Seth did.
Yeah, like
in the
when Seth
past.
did, he made those. He made really detailed and in-depth discussions, and even though people hated on him for his changes, he did a really good job at least trying to justify his thought process
Yeah.
and being transparent with the changes.
Yeah. Next one, the Hunter. First attack plus 0.2 seconds. I think this is definitely justified for the Hunter because it's been just awful, honestly, the last couple of months. I think it's a good change for to see the Hunter back in action.
I think it's balanced now.
Yeah, it is. I'm wondering if you guys think, was it really that significant of a nerf, the previous one, since it went from being pretty much the best support card, or one of them, to the worst, or at least like never used, even though it was just its first attack. Do you guys think like people overreacted and it was still
think so.
good, or was it really that bad with just this change?
It was when you played it, it would often just get no hits.
Yeah, it would just die instantly.
Big speed for its first hit.
Like
it would get one less hit than you needed it to every time.
That's fair.
So if they went like
if it being back.
So if they went like a mini P.E.K.K.A. on top of like the Hunter, it would take so long for it to shoot, and then it would just zap and it would just die instantly.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad they didn't fully revert it as well, because it is still a very powerful card, like very powerful. A lot of people say it's like high skill or like very healthy, and I think it's fine. It's very balanced and it's cool to have, but it's very broken if you think about it in some interactions, especially with the Fisherman. Like it can do a lot for just one card slot in a deck.
Of course, yeah, because the Fisherman pulls it like right towards like the death zone, which is like all the 10 bullets hitting at the same time, which is a very, very powerful tool for sure, versus like Royal Giant or Giant, Golem, etc. But yeah, the fire spirits, a very interesting buff for sure that they did a couple months ago when making one elixir and be able to counter a full barrel, which was ridiculous.
Rip
So
log bait.
rip, yeah. Even though people still pushed quite high with log bait, which is very very cool to see with the fire spirit being buffed. But yeah, but now the reduction being from 2500 speed to 2300, so you can still counter Gamba if you push like the fire spirit into the tower with like skeletons or something, but it's not as easy as it used to be. But I
Is
think
there a
it's
reason to still use Fire Spirit?
I don't think I've seen fire spirit. I've seen furnace a lot more with like the double spawners,
Yeah,
etc.
I've seen all the RG decks go back to Electro Spirit,
Yeah,
so I guess it is in a balanced spot now. I think it's still very strong. I mean, it's one elixir and it can do more damage than a fireball if left unattended at the bridge to the tower. And furnace is still pretty annoying as well, but
ooh, yeah,
just having that less splash is a good thing.
for sure, yeah. Because if the fire
Yeah,
spirits,
it's more offensive than like Ice Spirit. Like you just cycle it instead of using it defensively.
and you also have to watch out for the splash radius because you can't place like next to your tower like an ice spirit. You have to actually put it quite far away, otherwise you'll get splash at the tower every time.
Yeah.
Be a bit careful with that as well. But yeah, moving on to the tombstone. +1 skill on death spawn. I know Remy's been playing a little bit of Lava Hound recently, so let me know how that change has been for you.
You actually notice it with Lava Hound.
Oh wow.
Like it seems like a really useless buff. It actually makes a difference on defense. I think they also changed the timing slightly, since I see people miss Zap on the Tombstone death skeletons.
Okay, that's
So
I'm
it
not
was
sure if
like
that was on purpose. Like, you know, I think it's invisible or invincible for like a split second after they spawn. I've seen people like hit it, but it doesn't do anything.
that's
interesting.
interesting. I don't really use Zap that much. I usually use Log or Bar Barrel,
I
but
don't think anyone
same.
uses Tombstone.
yeah, Tombstone. I haven't used that in years, so I'm not sure how that would affect. But yeah,
I don't think it's necessarily a card that needs to be like at the very spotlight of the meta. So it's cool that it got
Yeah.
like a small buff, and I think it's fine to be left the way it is now. Like we don't need even more spawners being viable. I think Furnace is definitely viable.
Oh,
Goblin
yeah.
Hut is so and so, but there is that double spawner deck that's actually
Yeah.
somewhat popular.
It's
So
with
if Tombstone is niche, then that's cool for everyone that likes it.
I think it will start being seen more when Mother Witch is nerfed. Since that interaction is
that's
just
a
so
factor.
brutal for Tombstone.
you just keep getting freaking cursed hogs in your Tombstone every time. Yeah. But, moving on to the RG. First hit 0.2 seconds slower, so this is definitely very noticeable if you play RG. It takes much longer to shoot his first time. But yeah, I think it was definitely deserved for sure. Because RG has been meta for the past year?
Year and a half.
Ever since COVID, basically. That's on, RG's on.
Yeah, I mean they did buff the fisherman,
Like
so that helped it a lot.
Yeah. Because I remember in the April period when it was that RG Earthquake Firecracker
Yeah,
deck.
it's like
Oh my
everyone
god.
had all
Royal
variations
Giants and
of
Hog Cycle. That's when
Yeah.
it sort of started.
Yeah, it's
I like the nerf.
for sure, yeah. Definitely like it versus like when you have like a tornado at the last second, it just doesn't shoot, which is very nice.
Oh yeah, even better. I think I've just been underestimating first hit changes because like I thought the hunter was not that noticeable. The nerf, but clearly it was.
They changed cards so much more.
Interactions just changed completely. Like you used to like RG being like just a bit faster or the hunter being a bit faster, and then it just takes like that extra time, and then the troop just kills it.
And I am glad that they did it because I've seen a lot of people make the argument that it's not RG, it's the support cards, and I'm honestly getting quite tired of it since
yeah,
if you think about it, like RG has still been the cornerstone of the deck. It's not like you're just playing broken support cards willy-nilly. Like, there's a card that they're supporting, and it's always
The RG.
fulfilling that role of being that card that they support very well. And so if it's so meta for so long, it does beg the question, is it really just the support cards, or is RG that good that it's able to support substituting all the new support cards and still being viable? And so I'm really glad they did it.
I think it's a really strong concept as well for a win condition, since there's a lot of different things you can do with it, so it's just really versatile.
Yeah, RG at the back is such a good play, like for many different situations. When I didn't play this game that seriously, not saying that I do now, but like when I didn't understand it as well, I never really thought about RG at the back. I just thought
RG
like
bridge
my friend
only.
group and I in school would just call it Royal Jesus and play it at the bridge, and it would be broken because we would over level it and play on ladder.
I mean, it used to have like 6.5 tile range.
Yeah, it did. Like it would walk one step off the bridge and then just
Boom.
start hitting. I think like when you consider everything that you can do with it, it's really that good, because it's one of those decks. I'm not sure about now, but at least in that era when it was first RG Fisherman Hunter, like I think around the No Tilt Worlds time, it was one of the decks that had the best matchup spreads in the game. Like you can outplay anything with it.
You just relied on Hunter
Same as
and
Expo.
Fireball on defense.
It's on the same level.
Yeah.
So very good card, very good concept, and deserved nerf. And it has been noticeable. So I did change my mind on those first hit changes. They're actually quite good.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the goblins spawn in distance of each other. Yeah, it's quite a dumb change. I don't really understand. The only guy who plays goblins on top ladder is Viper, and that's pretty much it.
Viper's rejoicing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think goblins have always kind of been overshadowed by skeletons as well. Like skeletons are so good.
Yeah.
So I'm like any small buff that they do, as long as it doesn't affect like Goblin Barrel and other stuff, I'm
and Goblin Gang and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as those cards become broken again, then it's it's gonna be a bad meta. Just spam everywhere.
Against Graveyard now. Is that the only change to it?
I don't know if it's really that against Graveyard. It's actually if you block the bridge and place goblins, it's actually like a great counter. But now with like the poison movement
it's always
speed,
been really good. I remember, around when was it? Like the December-ish time when Mortar Cannon Cart was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You would actually be able to counter that deck if you played Expo with goblins, because goblins versus Graveyard is 2 for 5. They have to fireball it, and then you can go archers.
Yeah,
I beat a level 9 on my level 8 in the global tourney at like 29 wins. Mortar Graveyard versus Expo goblins.
Jesus.
But I think they're still overshadowed, but they're a cool card, and I'm happy to see them getting any like quality of life changes.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't affect the other goblins, I'm happy to see that for sure.
Yeah.
The giant snowball pushback increased from 1500 to 1800. Pushback. Now the snowball is actually like insanely good now again. It pushes it so far.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's the best.
It fully counters barrel as well.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Remy? Was the best support?
I think it's just really good.
Yeah.
Like as well in 2v2, since I just play lots of 2v2 now. I think Snowball is just very broken against Loon and stuff.
For sure. And
also even in Loon, in that Loon cycle deck.
Oh yeah, the 3.0 Loon cycle deck.
God.
I'm so mad that that's back.
Yeah, and now the bomb tower's been buffed, now the snowball's been buffed. Everything's just...
I wanted to talk about it because I hate it. I think it's a fun deck, but I hate playing against it now. Like Tesla's worse, bomb tower's better, and it's just sad.
And then in triple, they just spam
Yeah,
Loon Ice Golem at the bridge every time.
It's how we all feel playing against cycle decks. Just that one
Just
deck.
pain. Especially in single,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
think
pain.
it does a lot. Like, because you can snowball stuff away from where they want to go. And I think, like, cards that affect other cards' placement is a very underrated ability. Like, I think Fisherman is so overpowered when you let
Tornado's so
Fisherman on
good.
offense.
Tornado is a great one
Yeah,
as well.
Tornado as well. Like, they're very, very good. So just having that ability is real. I don't think a lot of people realize how good it is. And like Snowball now is a lot better against all of those. Although I guess it's good that there are cards that it is unable to push back as well.
Imagine they push back Prince or
Knock back Golem or something.
Prince
Just
or
go
Giant.
Golem opposite.
They play Golem in the back and then you snowball the king and it switches
Oh my
lanes.
god. That'd make that Loon Cycle deck pretty much unstoppable. Just nothing
Yep.
would just get through.
Just stall forever with Snowball.
Just you have a lava loon push, you push the lava hand back, balloon goes in front, and then just dies. The Goblin Drill. Finally, it's dead. Yes.
Yeah.
Plus -1 death spawn Goblin. Yeah, thank God. It's just. I've been a drill
I
hater.
thought
going
it
to
might
miss
not be a huge nerf, but it was. 'Cause
It
it's
is
really dead.
massive. Like only 2 goblins spawn now, and it's just so bad.
And when
Thankfully,
it
yeah.
dies,
You can
no
fully
longer
counter.
pushes the third goblin to a tower.
Yeah.
So your counter actually stops them.
It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like the bowler just doesn't do anything, just stands there and then they just get 1,000 damage just like that. Yeah, thankfully, all those drill players.
Yeah. Those 3 better
Uh,
hope they got their badges.
yeah.
I think
I
drill
think
is still
such a broken
very
concept.
strong fundamentally.
Yeah, it is.
There's so much outplay potential with it, but everyone could just go drill fireball at the tower.
Drill Fire
no
Spirit
one
Bomb at the
actually-
bridge first
Drill was
play.
spells.
God.
Like, yeah, the drill cycle deck was just those cards like converged to be
Such a
so
broken
broken together. Like drill, Tesla, Bomber, Fire Spirit, and Fireball. Those 5 cards, they had just unbelievable synergy with each other.
And
But I think
Yeah.
drill as a concept is just like so good, and the fact that you can use Fireball, Snowball, Tornado to support it is just unbelievable sometimes.
I love how
when a deck
the
with one air hitting card beats lava, that's when it's concerning.
Yeah,
for sure,
and
yeah.
just the fact that you can play it on defense too, like as if it wasn't so broken on offense.
Just
I
place a
saw one of
second
my
building.
Yeah, one of my friends' idea for changing it was to make it only a defensive building, and that would probably kill it, but I would have been fine with that. Because
I mean,
it's
I don't know how we would have multiple goblins then because they would never reach the tower then with only a single goblin.
yeah,
It
that's
just
true.
keeps
Actually,
Tombstone.
It would
Yeah,
be-
it's true.
yeah,
Like
it would be a
Tombstone, a new
upgraded
Tombstone. That could be. Who
But
knows?
I-
Maybe
I really wish they never released it. To be honest,
it was scrapped in 2019, but
Yeah, they thought it was
Brought it
too
back.
broken.
and then
Probably.
freaking release it this year. Like, come on. But
And,
yeah.
like I think it also leads into our final one, which is Royal Hogs,
Mhm.
and just the fact I don't understand how they got buffed. I think I heard someone say it was Flobby who wanted them buffed. If you guys like remember SK Flobby.
SK Flobby, yeah, the
I
golden
don't
player.
know.
I'm pretty sure he wanted to see them buffed or something, because there are people who give suggestions, and obviously like everyone has to be on board, but I'm surprised that it was even considered, because it was very obvious that Dark Prince Valkyrie were only there because of drill.
Yeah,
Yep.
Dark
So
Prince
that
Valkyrie,
was what
Light
Royal
Spirit,
Hogs were bad.
Fireball, Bomber. There's just
Yeah,
so
like-
much splash. That's the only reason it's not good.
Yeah, like they weren't dead, and it's another issue with drill, I guess, because since drill was released, it kind of caused all these issues and like miscommunications, misconceptions.
I'm surprised they didn't buff E-Golem with the same logic. Like E-Golem was
Yeah,
bad
exactly.
against Splash, why not buff that?
Although I guess it's like that perception thing again, where people would just hate it so much.
Oh, I hated
That's
Gamajo I
not-
hated it with my life. I was just done with seeing. I would just
Every
quit a
day.
game. I would just quit the game on this every time I saw it. Drill Bomber for Wallbreaker's first play. I was all right. Well, close up. Let's wait for the next match.
Drill Bomber at the bridge.
Oh
is
my
so
God.
dumb, and it's only 6 elixir.
Yeah,
Like,
and you have to counter with like at least like I don't know what kind of counters you had in hand.
just-
Just something
it
at
just-
nothing.
presents you in a situation that is so hard to counter.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way every deck can counter that push. And
It's
so, like,
barely
it's just
any.
fundamentally wrong.
Like the only decks I would counter is like any deck with like Valkyrie, Dark Prince, and then of course Fireball, and like that graveyard
pretty
deck.
much the cycle decks, like beatdown decks, are screwed
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, I thought my deck was really good against it, and then I just got double fireballed or out fireball. There's so much splash, everything just died, even if I went spurt
Yeah.
lane.
And like in a pinch and triple elixir, they would just like
Drill,
Tesla
Fireball, boom, boom, boom,
drill
boom.
onto them.
They
Throw
just get
everything.
two
They would have
drills down
four
at the same time.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the clip of Sfix where he just like cycled like 3 or 4 drills against like 2 giants?
Yeah,
Just
he
never
went,
got there.
Drill tested, and then 0 damage. And
It's
he was
like-
down like 12.
That's just I'm just
I
thankful.
think I saw a Teabag post a clip like that as well, and everyone was like,
Yeah, that
"We were just
is
spamming drills and Tesla. Why are you
Don't skill, bro.
something Aspix should be tweeting saying, "This is so broken, why can't you delete this card?" Instead of Teabag coming up.
Showing off like
Yeah.
I mean it's the same with 2.6 with like when Oyasu posted the Clippers as Anaban with that MK Ramrider deck. Dude,
I showed my friends at school that and they said 2.6 is so skillless if you can just spam like this instead.
you just spam 8 cannons, 6 musketeers everywhere. It's just insane. But I mean,
Yeah. Some of my friends, Aaron and Jax, whenever they see a clip
uh,
of like, an ice golem,
Oh.
even the bomb tower,
Like,
whenever you
me,
see a
Jax,
clip of
and
like
Darren,
them being
just-
down,
we just
When we're
at each
down
other
like
and
20.
every tweet
Yeah.
like that.
it's like you already know what I'm gonna say about this, but it has like
Yeah.
200 likes,
We just
20.
do it anyways.
but yeah, well, let's talk about the meta, guys. Is this the question I've had? Of course, is this the best meta we've had in a while?
Yes,
I would say,
by far.
yeah, definitely. And the only complaint I have about it is the Real Hogs. If they weren't buffed, like they would still be viable probably. They
Mhm.
just wouldn't be so good, and it would be just very balanced and very good. Like I see so many decks. Like I've been playing some grand challenges, and there's no like it's
One
not
deck.
Like, oh, you see this card, you already know what it's gonna. You already know what it's gonna be
Yeah,
because
there's
there are
so
only 3
many
net.
variations of everything.
Yep, it's really cool to see. Like Rascal's log bait is back. That was one of the decks that was killed by
Oh.
Farster.
Ram-
People don't like that.
Rami,
No one wants that back.
Rami doesn't like it because just of one card, the prince. Rami has nightmares
I
about
like
the
playing
prince.
against it, but I should have said something else. Like, okay, there are like log bait variations
Mhm.
coming back.
That's better.
You have like Loon Cycle is back. If I really like seeing classic Splash Yard.
Mhm.
That's probably something people hate as well. But like seeing the Bomb Tower Poison is just it's nice to see like old school decks being viable again.
And Loon Freeze as
Yeah.
well coming back.
Yeah,
The only bad thing is
Like,
that
everything is
Golem's
healthy.
dead, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone will complain about that.
Yeah, I think majority of the
that's
people
again-
majority of people really don't like the Golem's dead, and of course you have that small majority of actual Golem players like, well, that sucks. But
Well,
yeah,
this food.
yeah, we're
I think the best ones will probably still be okay. Like Bana
Yeah.
and Pure Strength and those guys will probably be fine. But yeah, I'm personally happy to see Golem gone. But
it takes more
It's like
skill
a
now. I
perception
think I think it takes more skill than just no brain cells for Golem
Yeah,
first
yeah.
play Night Witch and
Yeah,
stuff.
Golem is actually difficult now.
Yeah, for sure. Like I tried playing Golem like yesterday, and I just didn't know what to do. It's just we're just so used to going first play and just night witch behind, but it's a very different playstyle now for sure.
You need to think to play it.
I've only seen like one Golem clone the whole season.
Damn.
That's probably
I've not
good
even
as well.
seen one.
No, I haven't seen any. I've seen Golem Rocket come around like with the guards and stuff, but
Yeah, Ian was winning like I saw him win like 3 grand challenges with it in one day.
damn.
Golem Bucket is
I think that's a cool deck to see.
Yeah, this also like a Golem Prince Lightning going around with Snowball as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was
like
a really
27.
OG deck.
Yeah,
Like Hunter.
Like when Hunter was released.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it had Poison originally. Then it
yeah. They put
got
Lightning in
upgraded
now.
to Hunter.
Yeah.
And Poison. But yeah, it's a really nice meta. And Royal Hog's buff, like it is bad, but I'm still not seeing them every game.
Yeah,
Like it's
not like
a thing
it's-
where
it's not drill. Yeah,
it's not like drill. Yeah, it's like it's noticeable. Like everyone who has like an advanced sense of the game knows they're the problematic card in the meta, probably,
Mhm.
but they're not warping it to the point that Goblin Drill did, and so
Yeah,
it's still
The good thing
quite
is
good.
that you can, like, they aren't oppressive in a meta. Like, you can still beat hogs because nearly anything can counter them.
yeah. That
I
that
just
is
don't
true.
like that Royal Hog's Earthquake Cycle deck. I really don't like
The cheesecake deck.
the concept of it. Yeah, I don't.
Delivery Hunter cycle.
Yeah, like I saw my friend played Lava Hound, Flying Machine, Skeleton Dragons.
Oh, that's a tragic
Oh,
match.
and then just Delivery Hunter. Everything's dead. Goodbye.
Hunter
Yeah, like you would
double
think
Hunter,
that it's
double delivery.
they don't have many answers, but
The
like my
cycle.
friend got
Like, block flying
1,500 damage in both lanes, but then in double, like 2 hunters, 2 deliveries.
Oh my god! And then just cycle like
God.
2 pairs of hogs on both sides. It's just
Yeah,
tough.
pressure.
The pressure is
I don't
like
like it, but recruits being back is not the worst, I guess, since it's
Yeah,
not like
could be.
it's not like insane use rates. It's just really
Yeah.
good, but
It's just
yeah,
people who can play recruits can play it again now. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a deck you can just pick up and beat everything.
like guys like
Yeah,
Wotop and stuff are gonna be like really good this season. I think.
Yeah.
yeah, and Zaf Keel.
Yeah, Zafkiel. Yeah. Yeah.
For my deck Expo after the nerf, like I was quite upset about the nerf, but it's very much viable. It's still like early season and
Mhm.
GCs aren't as hard, I guess. I don't actually know at what point in the season GCs are the hardest because early season.
First day, since you're facing good people, like trying dice.
Yeah, probably the first week is probably
That's
the
true.
hardest. I think.
But
I th-
it seems like Expo is fine, and like even with the Tesla nerf, it's still able to do what it does. It's just not as effective in every matchup, but it's still like every deck. I think every deck is viable in the right hands with the right interaction knowledge and
Yeah.
like experience, and so it's nice to see about this meta.
Like, this is what the meta should be like. Like, everything can be played if you're good enough at it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like the Tesla nerf is definitely noticeable because I faced Aragon like a couple days ago on ladder with Loon Freeze, and noticeably it was actually the matchup was much easier with Tesla not being able to pre-place it right there. You can actually have to play it reactively.
Yeah, you don't really get to do that play of one Tesla on each side. Like
Yeah.
one more to the
Mhm.
left, one more to the right.
Hmm.
It just covers both lanes. You can't really do that. But
Yeah.
I've been able to circumvent it pretty easily too, because a lot of the time when you would pre-Tesla, you just play another cycle card, or you just have to wait more in your Teslas, and then they do the same trick pretty much. So it's not dead for sure.
Mhm.
And a lot of decks are in a really healthy spot now.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, the next question I have is, are the balances every quarter really effective, or do we need like monthly balance changes back?
We need more balances.
Yeah,
Like,
we
Bill
definitely need
shows up, a Warbreakers meta shows up, E-Barbs show. We need more frequent or just better balances. Like, I don't mind this meta being like a year long because it's balanced, but the last few, there are things that needed to be changed instantly.
Yeah, and the other thing is that they said with the switch to quarterly balances, we're still going to be monitoring cards and stepping in when emergency nerfs are needed. And they only did that for Earthquake at the start of the year.
And
Yeah.
they did one for Drill, but it didn't change anything.
Yeah, it wasn't the right. I mean, imagine if they didn't even emergency nerf.
Oh
Drill.
my god! I think the amount of people that quit the game there was just dropped like
Yeah.
massively.
But I think they need to be a lot more transparent as well. Like, if we're getting so much time between balances, then I'd like to see at least a more detailed write-up of the balance notes like Seth used to do. And he didn't even do them because he had to. He just did them because of his love for the game and for designing.
Card games.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think 3 months is too long. And they said like we'll be doing them alongside every client update. Which
Yeah.
I don't think is a rule that like you need to do. Like just because you can doesn't mean it needs to be with every client update. I'm sure they could.
Have we only had 2 updates this year? I just realized.
Yeah, we've had magic
There's
items
like magic
and
items and new to arenas.
yeah, and
Are
the
there only going to be 3 updates?
yeah, that's the only updates we had this year so far.
I think there's quite a lot of like hype leading up to this next one because it's been quite a while. And I guess we'll talk about that more in a bit. But yeah, I think we need to do at least every 2 months. Like I think 2 months is not bad since 1 month is fun, but it does mean that people who spend a long time maxing a deck and it suddenly gets hit, they get screwed, and people who aren't as good as like pros, they don't have that much time they might need more time to adjust than better off players. So 1 month might be too short, and like to be fair for the balance team, if it's too much work for them, sure, but I think every 2 months like max is a good number, or like 1.5 months. 1.5 months probably doesn't work since it would be in the middle of the season.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. Yeah, I think 2 months is the minimum. I think
2 months / one short season, one long season is not a bad goal to go for.
Yeah,
because it gives people like one season to get used to it, and then one season just go all out with it.
Yeah, I like that. I like the 2 months better than 3 months, because in the third month, people are already sick and tired of the meta already.
Yeah, they're just begging for changes.
Yeah,
and they go and
And
play
like
off the games.
more balances also just means like more content, more excitement. Like there's always that fresh feeling of trying out new decks and newly buffed cards. And since we get that less often, it's just less fun to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Especially for those pro content creators who want to share like the best decks. If it's the same deck for like the past 8 months, it's just very stale. So I think
this deck has Dark Prince instead of Valkyrie.
Whoa!
That's what the videos are like. It's like this OP new drill deck, and they changed
one card.
And Dark Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about the next update.
Oh, this will be good.
Oh, what do you guys think it's gonna be? What any thoughts?
I think card abilities. Card abilities, or I think they might change gameplay slightly. Like they might.
Yeah, they have been saying it'll be something that fundamentally changes.
I think they might add Dark Elixir, like in matches. Like I remember my friend said a couple of years ago that they could have Dark Elixir cards. Like you'd have your normal cards and you have 2 or 3 Dark Elixir cards, and it would replenish much more slowly. And they'd be like sort of like heroes, but they'd be slightly different. Like if you have
a really cool idea.
Like if you had Dark Knight, then it would be like Splash or something, like Dark Prince compared to Prince. Like, I think they just change cards slightly.
Either give him abilities or like give your towers abilities or something. I think that'll be quite a cool change. That changed like fundamentally the game for sure. But as long as that doesn't like affect like CRL or something, like CRL World's gonna be completely changed. That's gonna be very interesting.
I've gotten quite like used to the way Clash Royale is played, and I really like it. And I wouldn't want to see something that completely shakes it up forever.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of people like change. I think I'm kind of averse to a huge change.
Like if they added third tower or something, that just kills a lot of decks.
Yeah, I think if they're saying fundamentally change, that means they're probably gonna like put everything on the board and then just throw it out the window and just put like a completely new feature on it, which would be kind of cool.
I don't think it's gonna be a new game mode. It's probably gonna be. Although I'm like, if it's tower abilities, I'm also not sure how I feel about it because they also have the potential to be RPS. Like if you have 5 tower abilities, obviously, even if they don't intend it to be, some are going to be better against some decks than others, and vice versa.
Yeah, and imagine if there's something as broken as Drill, and it would just have one counter like Dark Prince or Valkyrie. Then there'd be an ability which makes it immune to Splash or something.
Or immune to
or less damage versus Splash.
Or immune to like single targets.
So broken. And they can't know the ability, or it would just change every deck.
Yeah, there's not much information right now. It's very vague at the moment. What Rick said on Twitter on their blog posts, fundamentally changing, but we'll have to see. Hopefully, it just won't break the game.
I'm hoping it's not a huge shakeup. Just something that's cool and refreshing, but not game changing. Or
what if they add like more elixir? They add like 15 elixir. Or 20 elixir.
I can
go Golem Graveyard at the bridge.
Golem Graveyard.
That would sort of kill punish decks.
Yeah.
Like you can't go Bandit at the bridge when they're on 0, since they'll never be on 0.
Yeah.
You could just go like Lava Loon at the bridge instantly at 12 elixir.
First play, Lava Loon.
Or like those 3 crown decks that have like Golem Barrel clone.
You have the Arhat deck, Golem 3M the bridge first play.
Or imagine like playing against the 3 Musketeers deck, but they go 3M and pump at the same time.
Oh my god.
It would just be
3M mirror in the pocket.
Dude. That'd be insane. Yeah, who knows? But yeah. Let's talk about the last thing we have for today, which was how's the last update changed the game?
I think it was... Wait, what was the last update?
The wild cards.
Magic items?
Yeah.
Wait,
Magic
like
items,
last
I think.
Content update, I guess.
Yeah.
I can remember.
I think
that's been really helpful for the game.
Yeah.
Like, you can actually max cards easily now.
At some points, I even wonder if it's like too good. Like, you have a book of books, 20 free legendaries. Like, you never had that ability before.
Yeah, true. 5.5 years ago.
Like,
true.
If you spent a lot of money maxing your accounts, it's just like it's so much cheaper now.
It's just a slap in the face.
Like 80 times cheaper or something.
Imagine telling the people that would spend hundreds of dollars on super magical chests to get a princess that you can just get 20 for like
$5.
I knew an Australian guy like in 2017 who spent 20,000 to max his account.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I think that would be legitimate.
God damn. But yeah, I think it has helped myself. Like my max account got banned in like last year July. And then I got this mini account from like level 12 to like now it's like has 70 max cards.
Nearly max,
yeah. It's almost maxed now. So it has definitely helped for progression for sure, but I think now they have to focus on like the max content, which they said they were gonna do next update. So we'll see.
I think it sets up really nicely
Yeah.
for maxed content because
They
it's
did-
so easy to, even as a free to play now.
I think also the last like content update was like they added like the gold chests and stuff, which is also nice for
Those
those
are
free
really
to
cool.
yeah. They get
I'm
free
probably
gold.
going to get hated for this, but
I
I'm
don't know.
fine as long as they just introduce new star levels. Like that's
Ooh.
all I want in an update, just new star
Honestly,
levels.
so am I. Like
Yeah.
Star level 3 Mega Knight.
Oh,
Star-
Everything.
sell level 3 lumberjack or like a
level
gold
3
axe and
rage.
stuff. Oh my
I
god.
just want star
Level 3 rage.
Or imagine like
Just
imagine
blind
if
your
you got-
opponents.
Just
imagine you got
completely
one where
red
you
the
could
screen.
customize your own star level.
Oh, that'd be sick. You just have your own star levels.
Like like a graphic studio or whatever, where you can
Design
if you
your
have
own
your
stuff.
lumberjack axe, you can spray paint
The only
whatever.
problem is, you could do it in such a way that they can't recognize the card. Like
Yeah,
when
just make
Cannon Cart,
everything-
Make it to a Mega Knight.
like when Cannon Cart Star Level first came out, I thought, what the hell is this, a battle ram or is this? I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's like a dragon thing on the front. It's
I
really.
thought, is this a Chinese battle ram?
Chinese, I like that. Yeah, but yeah, I think.
Well, I would only be allowed to play from 9 to 10 p.m.
Oh god, the new laws. Oh.
What do you guys think about that?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, it is.
I would hate it. I was
Bad
affected by it.
I would
I'm
hate
really
it, to be
lucky that
honest.
Same.
Yeah, and even like I think Sora posted on Twitter as well. Like he named like a clan like a certain
Oh,
like
yeah.
He
thing.
was sharing
But, like-
his updates in a group chat. He
Yeah,
was like, guys, they actually banned my account. What the hell?
damn.
Like,
Banned
and then
him
someone
in
was like,
band name and description.
Oh my god,
and
dude.
then someone said like, if you go missing now, at least we know what happened to you.
Jesus. Oh my god. But yeah, I think one more thing I want to talk about is the Zero. I think was it a good change going from groups to single?
I
It's
think
like-
it was horrible for pros, but if you're at the level where you could just get like top 32 once, then it's better for you. Like for semi-pros,
Yeah.
you could get money from it
True,
instead of
yeah.
having to be good enough to get signed.
Yeah,
True,
it gives
true.
more opportunities, definitely.
I just had fun memeing around it.
I've tilted a lot of people as well. I made Sandbox not qualify for 1 month because I beat
Oh
him
my
the first
God.
time.
I remember I went like RG recruits against KK and Line. They went from like 1-4. No, they went from 4-1 to 4-5 after playing me.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing for opportunities and just like letting everyone, because I think before it was a lot about connections, right? Like
Mhm.
there were people that would get on teams just because of their social status and not their ability. And so now, even though it is kind of RPS, it is still like you see the same people doing the best
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah,
You'll still
like
see-
Molite, Lucas, Morton.
Light and Morton and
Yeah.
Lucas
Mhm.
and people like that.
Although there is a part of me that misses watching Team CRL as well. Like it
Same.
was very fun.
The amount of-
I always skip 2v2 for the most part, but I just
Oh
love
really?
I miss
teams.
competitive 2v2 so
Dude,
much.
we would just get free decks. Just the free
just
decks
need-
was so much fun.
I just want a 2v2 mode in the game, like an actual competitive 2v2, and that's all I'd play.
Or like an actual
Oh,
mode
yeah, there
for
could-
duels.
2v2 ladder.
Oh,
I would love
They could
that.
do that.
2v2 ladder, 2v2 GT. They should experiment with that stuff. The 2v2 GT would be a lot of fun.
That'd be so much fun.
But who knows?
Until
Maybe,
you
dude.
realise
Imagine the next update. It's gonna be like they will add like a 2v2 like section or
Oh.
something. Dude, that could be that could mean fundamentally changing the game, just having a 2v2 with it.
I mean, that technically is, so
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I think that's it for me today. Guys, you have any last thoughts you want to share?
not really. Just but I hope this next update is good.
Yeah,
Like, if it's not good for max plays, so many people have gone forever from the game.
for sure. Yeah,
Like, this needs to be really good.
Yeah, Clash Royale is like in a good state right now because I think it is also partly due to stuff like TikTok. It is kind of on the uptrend, and it is in a more popular state than it has been. It's not declining. I think it's growing. So
I
I
think
hope they match people's
it's
expectations.
bringing in people, and they don't have the problem of just being stuck because of levels. But as soon as they get max, they're just like, what now? Like, if I
Yeah,
don't
and
want to play for ladder or I don't want to play grand challenges, then what can I like just try and work towards in the game?
yeah, I hope it's not like hid behind a paywall as well, like challenges. It's like accessible and entertaining. Although I do hope it isn't like it doesn't change everything completely and we have to learn a lot of new things or
If they had,
everything that we know
they had,
goes out the window.
they had card or tower abilities, every deck that exists now is just dead. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, if there's something that gave instant damage, all cycle is dead now because you just can't afford that. If they,
Or like a wipe the
so
board
much.
clean. You have like a
Yeah,
wipe the
then all
board
beat
thingy.
down.
It would just be
Like
card
they
abilities
do-
for Royale.
You can so easily kill every archetype with card abilities.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't want that to happen because I like the state we're in right now.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like, if they do tower abilities, like, I hope they're really subtle.
Now you've got to relearn everything in the game.
Yeah,
All your hundreds
I
of
hope
thousands
it's
of
something-
hours gone.
But
Super
there's
major.
one good thing with that. Since everyone's become so good at the game right now, matchups are a big problem. Like, not just because of the cards, but because people are so good that just
there's
just
less of an outplay.
they have a
factor.
very slight advantage. If they like just completely change the game, that's no longer a problem since everyone's bad again.
Yeah, everyone's
that's
back
a
on the
good way
same
of
level.
looking
It's
at it.
got to
Yeah.
relearn it.
But I hope they won't change that like after CRO though, not before like CRO Worlds, because
Yeah.
that'd be kind of bad.
Because
Yeah,
if you like watch 4K players,
Yeah,
like
just watching
CRO,
arena, yeah, just misplacing card abilities and tower abilities being completely wasted or something.
Yeah, people just rewatch it in a year and they think, what the fuck were they doing? What is that play?
Yeah,
I would honestly be fine if it was just like another game mode, even though that's not what people want. But I'm just that like attached to the
2v2.
state of the game that we're in right now.
Yeah, 2v2. 2v2 is more fun than 1v1.
What if they added like a King of the Hill like mode where you can go like
Oh
like
my God.
where you can go where you can enter
would
like 3 players on all sides, so you just like continuous battle and stuff.
That's
Dude.
what
That would be
panels
so
should
easy
be.
for esports too.
Yeah, that'd be really good for that as well. Because then you don't have like the issue of like lag or something, or my request didn't go up, so yeah, if the opponent gets a free win. So I've had that so many times.
Problems of competitive.
Yeah.
I think one quality of life thing they could look at is player profiles as well. Like maybe more badges
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
or more ways to customize your profile, like maybe a picture. Probably not text since that could be abused.
Yeah, it can be.
But, like,
Yeah.
Something
you
cool
have,
just
like,
to spice it
icon.
up. Yeah.
Or they add like
an
colored
icon
names again.
preset.
Colored names.
Yeah, and oh yeah, another thing I wanted to say is I really hope they have another 20-win challenge that has
Ooh.
an emote and a profile badge. Because last year we got the no tilt one, but we had no emote or badge.
And then
That's-
we
That was
and then
That's
the
the first time I got 20 wins, and I couldn't show it.
yeah,
there's-
like it's just gone. Like,
it's
it's
just,
not, there's no
it's,
sign of it.
it's the same with the legendary like 20-win challenge. Also didn't get any badges or anything. Just
Yeah.
the wins were updated. That's all.
Well, that was
Max
7
20
times
wins
elixir. You
is
can't expect an emote for that.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, true.
It was a lot of
I
fun
didn't
though.
even- I don't think I even played that.
It was just so much fun, just spamming everything at the bridge. But you would if you get like drop glitched or something, you would just lose the game because you would
Oh,
just
yeah,
go
you're
for
down, like,
round.
35 elixir. every drop.
You've got
like
to
some-
defend with a massive golem double pecker.
With the golem rocket. But yeah, do you guys want to give me any shout outs before we go? Rami?
Just to INT, honestly.
Shout out to INT, I like it. SK?
Yeah, I probably would say the same, even though I haven't really played very actively lately. But it's a very cool group of people, and yeah. Also, just I guess shout out to all my close friends who they already know who they are.
Nice, I like it.
Oh, I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone who's watching this.
Yeah, shout out to everyone who's watching this. Leave a like if you did enjoy the
Yeah, shout out
podcast.
to you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the viewers, we appreciate you guys watching this, and let us know which guest should come onto the next podcast, because this SK, of course, a great guest, has been on CBA multiple times for his broken podcast, etc. Let us know in the comments who you guys want to see in the next podcast, and yeah.
So we've had SK, but hopefully not the last.
Yeah, hopefully not the last. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. And
also let us know like other topics that you would like to see discussed.
Yeah, for
or
sure.
just any
Yeah,
feedback on the podcast.
Or any feedback or criticism or
a lot of
something. Just let us know. Or you can just DM me on Twitter, or any of us, really.
Yeah, this is our first take of this. We're not editing this or anything. This is just one take.
Yeah. One take
Just
podcast.
raw discussion.
Exactly. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.